Trump makes claim that 300 million people died last year from drugs. How many people are there in America asking for a friend? Estimates suggest 62 million people died in the entire world last year. So forget America. 62 million people died in the entire world last year. So wouldn't it be a numbskull statement to say 300 million people died last year from drugs? The math ain't mathin'. And thank God the death ain't deathin' at that rate. Trump thinks 300 million people died just from drugs. Listen.
You going with us? Huh? Are you going with us, Maggie?
Not with you.
Good.
Just one more on Venezuela. The president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. Are you concerned that Maduro might escalate something?
No, what's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country, and the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs. That's what's illegal.
Do you think he's not telling the truth when he's...
He says it with conviction. He knows it's true in his own mind. I've been a reporter and interviewed some pretty, some characters. I don't know that I've ever, and I stood before him with a microphone before he was glaring at me. South Carolina, that debate where he said that I haven't said anything about him. And believe me, there's a lot of material there. Okay, remember that one? Ugly as it was, not nice. I don't know how you react to something like this, but you got to cover him. Leader of the free world. I'll tell you more about the remarks that came after reporters asked the 79-year-old Trump to respond to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's claim that the U.S. killing of 11 suspected drug smugglers in the Caribbean Sea was illegal. Whether he was concerned Venezuela would retaliate. Daily Beast with the details. For Trump's claim to be accurate, it would mean nearly 90% of the current U.S. population of about 340 million died from drug overdoses last year. So there's the answer to my question. Thank you to the crack team behind Indisputable. Of course, they have it there. Rough population, currently 340 million. So yeah, 90% would have to be due to drugs and overdoses. It's nonsensical, folks. Official figures from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, well, they're still around, are they? The CDC showed Trump's estimate was off by around 299,925,000. It's an estimate. What are you going to do? It's an estimate. In the 12 months ending March 2025, there were nearly 75,000 drug overdose deaths in the U.S., down from highs of around 111,000 recorded 2 years earlier. Now that sounds disgusting. 75,000, yes, down by probably what? I don't know. Is that 25%? My math isn't good from 2 years earlier. That's still disgusting. We're talking about human beings, but we're quantifying the issue, the problem, the deaths. It's not 299,925,000 more than that. It's 75,000. And I don't know how you could be that far off. Most people would pause and not put out a number. They would pause, or they would think about it and say, I don't have the exact figures, but too many, people are dying. That's not what he did. And the reason he didn't do that was because he frequently just blurts things out, like inject bleach. He just blurts things out. And people don't challenge him enough, right? Probably started at home as a young boy. Not important. Numbers don't matter. We're going to make them up. We're going to inflate them. We're going to do whatever we got to do. It probably went something like that. Wow. Okay. There's more. Even if we look at global numbers, this wouldn't be anywhere close to true. It is still categorically false, folks. World Health Organization, WHO, reported in June 2024 that drug use accounted for 600,000 deaths globally. Again, that's a lot of people. 600,000 people died of drugs globally. It's a lot, but it's not 300 million. Not even close. White House defended him. Do you see what I mean about just allowing this? This is why he keeps doing it. White House defended Trump by trying to suggest he meant all those affected by drugs, despite the president specifically mentioning deaths. Like when he stood there with Putin and his smirk, pretending that he needed that little translator thing in his ear, but he can speak perfect English, and said, I don't know why he would. When asked, do you believe? But I don't know why he'd lie. Some paraphrasing. Remember that? And then they told us afterwards that he said, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. We keep running the clip. He knew the context and everything. I don't know what was going on here. I don't want to call it decline, cognitive decline. He just misspoke. So he was off by almost 300 million, the number he gave. Okay.